Hello. Today I want to talk about why so many good leaders are quietly exhausted. I want to talk about the burnout that nobody wants to talk about. Welcome back to The Way I See It. Let's get into this. Last week, I attended an event where I had the opportunity to listen to some very, very interesting people, of which none need an introduction. The first was Michelle Obama, then Malcolm Gladwell, and then finally Michael Pinball Clemens. Now, all three of these are very different people, very different backgrounds, with very different life experiences. But what struck me was that the way they all kept coming back to the same core ideas: connection, honesty, service, authenticity, and genuinely caring about people. Not image, not status, not ego, people. And honestly, that has stayed with me since then. Because lately, all I'm hearing is about leadership workplace, culture, and what's happening emotionally with so many of these people today. And and especially those carrying huge responsibilities. Now, I've spent decades managing people, solving problems, building teams, mentoring professionals, and basically helping other people succeed. And I've been very fortunate in my career. I've received recognition that I'm very grateful for, and I've worked alongside so many, many talented people over the years. But lately I find myself becoming emotionally tired in a way that, hell, I never expected. And it's not because of the hard work. I mean, hard work has never bothered me. I'm one of the few guys with calluses. It's the emotional atmosphere and the constant conflict that wears everybody down, me included. It's the constant complaints, the inane questions, the fragile egos, all avoidable conflict. Or, sometimes it's the people wanting success without the discipline. And then it comes down to the contravention of basic rules and especially the lack of morals. Leadership is slowly becoming less about growth and more about, emotional firefighting. And, sitting there listening to those speakers, I realized something. I realized that the people who remember us most in life usually aren't the ones with the biggest titles or the loudest voices. No, they're the people who made others feel seen, respected, encouraged, connected. And that matters. Because, because somewhere along the way, I think many workplaces, maybe society in general, started confusing authority with leadership. Not a chance. Real leadership isn't intimidation, it isn't ego, and it certainly isn't the constant self promotion of some people. Real leadership is influence, it's consistency, it's integrity, and sometimes it's simply making others around you feel human or feel valued. Now, I know that sounds simple, but it's becoming increasingly rare. The one thing that stood out for me from all these speakers was the importance of the genuine human connection. And maybe for some weird reason, that's part of the problem today. We're more connected technologically than ever before. But emotionally, eh, many people feel disconnected. I don't know, disconnected from purpose maybe, disconnected from community, disconnected from meaning itself. And even in business, or especially in business, however you want to look at it. And now we're, facing the AI world. It's becoming part of almost every industry. It's talked about every day. I think we're entering another important moment of reflection because, I use AI every day and it can absolutely help us become more efficient. It can save time. It can streamline tasks. It can organize information and improve productivity in ways we couldn't have imagined. But, and it's a big but, and it's my opinion and I hope it's yours, technology will never replace genuine human presence. It will never replace empathy, character, authenticity, or emotional intelligence. It'll never replace a sincere conversation with a mentor, one who truly listens, or a leader who inspires trust, or a person who makes others feel understood or valued. Because at the end of the day, people don't build loyalty to systems. They build loyalty to people. Let that sink in. And maybe that's why authenticity matters now more than ever. People are exhausted, from performance, from carefully curated images, or, from corporate language that sounds polished, but it really feels empty. I think people are craving real again, real conversations, real leadership, real accountability, and real kindness. Back in the 80s when I first entered leadership, yes, I'm that old, I believed success was mainly about performance, results, and hard work. And yes, those things still matter. But as I've grown into different positions over the years, I've realized something else matters just as much. And that's how people feel when they leave a conversation with you. Do they feel smaller or stronger? Do they feel dismissed or heard? Do they feel managed or genuinely led? That's a very different conversation in most businesses. And I think it has to be had today. And maybe that's why so many leaders are quietly exhausted. Many managers today spend time putting out firefighting, than inspiring growth or building the business. We spend more time handling emotional fallout than building culture. And after enough years of carrying everybody else's problems, even positive people can begin losing connections to themselves. And that realization hit me hard because I've always considered myself optimistic, hopeful even, and definitely driven. But I think many strong people, many of them, will eventually or have eventually reached a point where they stop asking themselves, how can I become more successful? And instead they start asking themselves, what actually gives my life meaning now? That to me is really the deeper question. And maybe the answer isn't found in more money or more titles or more recognition or more awards. Maybe it's found in contribution, connection, honesty, authenticity, and helping people in ways that actually matter. That's certainly the message that I walked away after hearing those three incredible individuals. Sincerity, different people, different stories, but remarkably similar wisdom. I don't know. And maybe we need more of that right now. Less outrage, less ego, less entitlement, and less performing. We need more humanity. Anyway, that's the way I see it. Now, if this conversation connected with you, leave a comment, DM me, send me a text, whatever. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. Do you think people today are becoming more disconnected from one another? I don't know. Has leadership changed over the years? Has society changed? Well, of course it has. Has technology improved our lives while quietly weakening the human connection? And again, of course it has, in my opinion. Or are we simply becoming more aware of what truly matters as we get older? So if you enjoy my conversations, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone. Share it with someone who appreciates honest discussion, without all the noise. So until the next time, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'm Michael Walmart. I'm out.